What's going on, Husker Nation? Thank you so much for tuning in. Last week, we previewed the offense, and this week, we are focusing on the Black Shirts. We're going to kick off our Black Shirts preview with the defensive line. Nebraska lost Ty Robinson and Nash Hutmaker along with Jamari Butler. Those were our three starters last season. Riley Van Poppel has a big year ahead of him. As a true freshman, he flashed in quite a few games. In particular, the games in which the teams ran the ball a lot. You got to think back to last year as well, when he redshirted. The 4 games he played in were against teams that ran the ball. He's a damn good run defender. After his freshman season, I think a lot of Nebraska fans were of the notion that he will be an anchor on our defensive line for years to come. That starts this coming season. He will be an anchor on this defensive line. He has the ability, just like Ty, to be a defensive end, a defensive tackle, kind of slide in and out on that defense. I think he's a better defensive tackle right now at 6'5", 290 to 300 pounds, and his consistent ability to disrupt the run game. His biggest area of improvement is going to be pass rush, which we know takes time. Think back to Ty. I think these two are very similar players too. Think back to Ty, his freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, and then he just progressively was getting better as a pass rusher. By the time he left, he had 7.5 sacks last season. Riley can be the same or better version of Ty Robinson as time continues. We're going to get our glimpse this year. He's going to go from a guy that played 15, 20 snaps as a redshirt sophomore. He played 10 to 12 snaps as a true freshman to a guy that is now going to be playing 30 to 40, maybe 45 snaps a game. It's a big year for Riley Van Poppel. You have a lot of production to replace, and he admitted that. It's a lot of production to replace, but it's the next man up. It's our time. Let's go make some noise. Cam Lenhart was a guy we saw a little bit as a true freshman who showed an ability to pass rush and consistently disrupt the quarterback. Now, he only had 3 sacks to show for it, but think about all the times where we saw him getting a QB hurry, beating an offensive tackle off the edge, forcing the quarterback to roll out, step up in the pocket for somebody else to make the play. Then we saw last season, and I'm not sure what happened last season. Was it the sophomore slump? Maybe. Was it the elevation of Ty and Nash and Jamari? That's a possibility as well. Last year, he only had half a sack. How does he go into year 3? The 6'3", 260-pound junior is going to be a factor on Nebraska's defense. Coach Rule even said last year, we view Cam as a starter. Going into 2025, he very likely could be your starter. I think he will be your starter. His job is to disrupt the quarterback and hold the edge. He's going to go from a guy that played similar to Riley, 12, 15 snaps a game to maybe 30, 40 snaps a game. How does he hold up down in and down out, week in and week out in the Big Ten? That's my question for Cam. And can you consistently disrupt the pass? I don't care if you have 3 sacks, 10 sacks, disrupt the pass. Bat a ball down, get a QB hurry, make the quarterback throw earlier than he wants to, and then resulting in a turnover. You won't get credit for that, but your play is a tribute to that. Elijah Judy is going to hold down the middle for Nebraska. Again, this is the same thing as Cam and the same thing as Riley. These guys were playing 12 to 15, maybe 20 snaps a game in Elijah's case. Now you're going to be the dude. You're going to be playing 30, 40 snaps a game. How do you hold up in the Big Ten? Now, I think they'll all be fine, but it's a question worth posing. But I think they'll be fine. Elijah Judy has bulked up in the offseason. He said he was more comfortable playing at the 275, 280-pound range. Well, now you're going to be in almost an every down defensive tackle in the Big Ten. He had to bulk up, so that's what he did. He's around 295 to 300 pounds now. It's a big year for Elijah. It's his final year. Let's see what you got, Elijah, because I think you can be a damn good defensive tackle for Nebraska. Another defensive lineman, Keona Davis, a true edge defensive end type player. Last season, as a true freshman, granted, Keona didn't have a lot of tackles or TFLs, or I don't think he even had a sack last season. But you turn the tape on, you see a guy that's 18 years old going up against the guys that are 21, 22 years old that have been in college for 3, 4, 5 years, some cases 6 years. And you see Keona consistently disrupting plays. Now, again, similar to the guys we just mentioned, you're seeing a trend here. Keona would play 15 snaps a game or so. What did he do with those 15 snaps? He made the most of them, that's for sure. He consistently, in those 15 snaps a game, beat tackles, hurried the quarterback, made the quarterback step up in the pocket, and maybe Ty or Nash would get the sack. Or he make the quarterback scramble out and force an incompletion. There's a play against Boston College where they ran a screen. Keona blows by the left tackle, realizes it's a screen, stops after full speed rushing the QB, comes to a complete stop, finds the running back, and beelines it to the running back 8 yards down the field and makes a tackle. Effort, high energy. That's what Keona brings. Going into year 2, it's a big year for Keona. I think he could be a starter for Nebraska at defensive end. He's bulked up too. He's probably in the 260-pound range. He was playing last season, probably around 240, 245. Very slim for a defensive end in the Big Ten. Williams Nwaneri is a guy we hear a lot about too. The 5-star, the number 1 edge from high school, the number 1 edge from the winter portal cycle. Everybody wanted Williams Nwaneri in high school. Nebraska is the one who's got him now. At 6'7", 260 plus pounds, there are not many dudes built like Williams Nwaneri. If you've ever heard the saying, the all bust team, meaning the guys that just look like physical freaks, Williams Nwaneri would be on that list. Keona Davis would also, and so would Riley Van Poppel. Williams Nwaneri can be a great player. Now, the one issue is he didn't play at all at Missouri. And I believe he went to Missouri knowing he was going to play a lot. So why didn't he play? We don't really know. We don't want to speculate either. He's got a really, really high floor and an even higher ceiling. Can he put this all together going into his second collegiate season? Now, I think part of what will help make him be great is comfortability. And what I mean by that is you see it at Missouri where they have local products that come there for a year and then they leave. It happens like crazy at Missouri. But at Nebraska, there's a lot of Kansas City connections. There's people he's grown up with that are on the team. His former high school coach is on staff. He's got a lot of teammates and a lot of friends from the Metro on this team. He's comfortable. He trusts them. Comfortability and trust go a long way. He may not be a huge factor this season. He may be a guy like Keona did last year where you're playing 10, 15 snaps. But he is going to be very good for Nebraska once he puts it all together. We've heard he's been practicing very well. We've heard he's performed at a high level. Again, it's just about putting it all together. Gabe Moore, another interior defensive lineman, not to transition too quickly. That was a quick transition. Gabe Moore, they finally updated his weight on Huskers.com. So now we can chill out about him being supposedly 240 pounds because we weren't totally sure. Gabe Moore is 6'4", 290 pounds. Here's my concern with Gabe. He redshirted his true freshman season at Mississippi State. Last year, he was in line to start or play significant snaps for Mississippi State. But he sat out for an undisclosed injury or personal issue. I can't remember which, and I don't want to speculate because I don't know. But it was one of those two reasons. I know that. Going into year 3 now for him, can he be a factor for Nebraska? Interior defensive line depth is very sparse. He has a chance to come to Nebraska and immediately play based on just lack of depth. He was, I believe, a 4-star recruit, consensus 4-star recruit coming out of high school. Can he develop quick enough, because there's not a lot of time between spring and fall, realistically speaking, to be a guy that gets 15, 20 snaps a game so that you're not having to play Elijah Judy 40 snaps a game? or Riley Van Poppel 40 snaps a game. Because after 12 or 13 games of playing 40 plus snaps a game, your body is going to physically wear down. So can Gabe Moore come in and help alleviate some of that stress? If we're being honest here, well, before I do that, I want to talk about a few other guys. Sorry about that. Mason Goldman is someone we've heard has been making some moves at defensive end. Does he play this year? I think he has a chance to be in the rotation. He's going into his second or third year, I believe, at Nebraska. He's got really good size at 6'5", 260 pounds. We've heard he's done very well. That's one thing. And then his pass rushing abilities are better than what we think. That could get him on the field as well. He's really good in the run game. But can he become a dominant pass rusher for Nebraska? That would help get him on the field fairly quickly. David Hoofkin, everyone wants to know about David Hoofkin, the big defensive end, defensive tackle from Kiel, Germany. I think Justin would agree. I think he has a very high ceiling potential. Unusually athletic for a guy his size. He could play offensive tackle. He could play defensive end. He could play defensive tackle. Very long arms too. I personally think he's a year at least away because, like we said on our live show on Tuesday, he didn't play football for like 2 years, and he's only played football for like 3 years in total. He's going to take some time to develop. I think he's at bare minimum a year away, probably closer to 2 years away. But I know everyone wants to know about David Hoofkin and how he's progressing. Cade Peitzak, true freshman defensive lineman from West Fargo, North Dakota. I think, back up a second here. Consensus 4-star recruit, Nebraska beat out Oklahoma. I think he has the opportunity to come in and kind of make a splash. He could see the field early as a true, not early, but he could see the field as a true freshman. Same thing for Malcolm Simpson, the consensus 4-star from Hitchcock, Texas, 6'3", 265, 270 pounds. Nebraska likes him, I think, long run as a defensive tackle. He could see early playing time as a defensive end or an undersized defensive tackle. I don't think either Cade, I know Malcolm's not here right now. I don't think Cade is here right now either. So they're going to have a lot of time to make up once they arrive here in the summer. There are two guys, though, that I think could see some playing time on that defensive line. And then Jalen George, we know he injured his pec during winter conditioning. So he's very limited in spring ball right now. The junior defensive end from, where did he come from? Middle Tennessee or something like that. Very similar game to Camlin Hart. So we'll see kind of once he becomes healthy, how he progresses. I think he's going to be a rotational guy at best. I don't think he's going to be someone that starts. He still needs some time to develop. That's all I've got for today. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. Have a great one.